So we might kick off. We've got a pretty full program today. So welcome to the Sydney Robotics for Coding and STEM Education. Excuse me. So this is me. Excuse me. This is meetup number 8. So tonight we have Ben from CoderDojo and Clinton from Obelisk Systems, who's travelled a long way to get here, by the way, from Newcastle. Just want to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, and also thank our supporter Atlassian for the venue and the pizzas and the drinks. And also wanted to say thanks to Geronimo for organising things today. Mariano told me that Geronimo did all the work today, and I want to thank Agustina as well. So Agustina is always helping out in the background and always making sure people are coming in and sometimes going downstairs and letting people in the lift and stuff like that. So I just wanted to thank Geronimo and Agustina, so thank you very much. Thanks 1 Million Robots for covering meetup.com fees. Thanks everybody for coming out tonight. There's a big turnout tonight, and appreciate everybody coming along. So we have, this is the agenda, so we have some community announcements. There's an attendance sheet around for everybody, so write down on the attendance sheet. We'll do community shout-outs. I'll let you know what the upcoming meetups are, and then we'll get into presentations. Community announcements. So Nicola Kerno, do you want to come up, Nicola? So I presume by codes, and is that okay? Yeah.
Hello, I'm Nicola.
There's a microphone here as well. So.
Hello, I'm Nicola from Code Club. We have a couple big events coming up that I wanted to let you guys know about. Our Vogue Codes Kids event is this Saturday. It is a kids expo sponsored by Vogue, held at Carriageworks. We have booked out, but if anyone would like to come, would like to drop in and say hello, it's primarily for kids aged 8 through 12, and it's very hands-on learning, a lot of fun. Please just let Anthony or myself know, and we probably have a couple tickets that I can shout your way. And then the big thing I wanted to talk about was Moonhack. So last year, Code Club hosted Moonhack, which was a world record-breaking event. We had 10,207 kids coding all at once last year on July 26th. This year, Moonhack is on August 15th, and we're going international. So we've got kids all over the world doing projects with us. We have projects for all ages, Scratch Junior, Scratch and Python. And it's completely free. Kids or teachers just have to register and then complete their project on the 15th or the week of, and then they can be part of the world record. So the website is moonhack.com, and you just have to register and then you're good to go. If you have any questions, I'll be around, and thank you.
Awesome. So that's pretty exciting. And also another announcement, there's a Science and Technology Expo coming up. Where's Liz? Liz, do you want to say a few words about that? Or?
Hello, I'm Liz. I work at Chatswood Library, Willoughby City Council Library, and we're a part of the newly formed Northern Sydney Science Hub. So on the 12th of August, that's our first joint event, and it's at Chatswood Library, and it's a Science and Tech Expo. So we've got a number of workshops for all ages, 3D printing in an hour and build a 3D robot game in an hour, and a couple of other ones as well. And then we've got about 10 to 15 vendors. So we've got CSIRO, the Australian Astronomical Observatory, Australian Measurement Institute, and a number of other ones as well. So we do have a couple of spaces open up for vendors. If you've got an organisation you would like and you'd like to have a little space at the expo, just let me know. Otherwise, it'd be great to see you there. Thanks.
Thanks, Liz. Okay, some other community shout-outs. 1 Million Robots, that's our company. You can pre-order a Marceline robot. Little Bird Electronics, always like to shout out. They'll also be at the Science Expo at Chatswood. Nicola O'Brien from Code Rangers, she's a great community member too. I just wanted to put Peter Dalmaris's book up again. Peter gave a talk a couple of months ago about his Maker Education Revolution book. I know Phil has read it and done a review. So I just wanted to put that up again. Another member of our community, Alex Tang, he was running an event called the World Education Robot Contest, which was yesterday. So I'm hoping that Alex will come and give us a talk at some stage and maybe show us some photos and tell us about what happened at that event. Did anybody go to that, by the way? No? Okay. Another community member, Paul de Groot from Awesome Tech. So you remember Daniel Collins and Joe from Awesome Tech showed us their particle accelerator a few months ago, which they took to Bay Area Maker Faire. Paul is part of Awesome Tech as well, and he's got a laser cutter controller upgrade. If anybody's got a K40 laser controller, as of this afternoon, he's sort of $11,500 towards his $20,000 goal. So if you need a laser controller, you could go and support Paul. Also, is there anything that anybody wants to shout out? Any news or things they want to talk about? Yep.
I'm going to mention as well when we do the presentation that there's a public forum that's happening for teachers, industry, education, education industry, and for coding as next layer of literacy. We want to put everybody together so people that we know who are fence sitters, principals, teachers, etc., particularly, and parents, really want to hear from you and to pass on the message on the 17th of August during the Sydney Science Festival.
17th of August.
We'll be able to talk about why groups like this exist.
Okay, and what's the location? So 17th of August at the Sydney Science Festival.
At freelance.com at Square.
Okay, great. And if I grab the link from you later on, I can put it in the presentation and we can publish that. Yeah. Is there anything else anybody would like to say? Okay, so upcoming meetups on for our August meetup next month. We have the special hosted meetup at Barker College. I guess a little bit similar to when we went to Abbottsley College and they gave a demo with the students of what they're doing with their robotics at the school. So that's pretty exciting next month. And in September, also another really exciting presentation. We have Meredith Ebbs coming here. So I think a few people have heard of Meredith Ebbs. She's the massive open online course developer, workshops on digital technologies, K-10 free online courses. You can actually go online and sign up for these courses. I actually signed up for one of them. So I encourage you to go and have a look at that, and you can come and hear Meredith speak in September. So it should be a pretty amazing presentation. And also Phil's offered to give a talk again in September as well. So always looking forward to Phil's talks. amazing. So presentation today. So we have Ben from CoderDojo at Balmain Library, and we also have Clinton from Obelisk Systems, and if there's any time left at the end, we have a couple of tables at the back there, and there's some hardware and demo type stuff. Phil has brought some hardware as well, some Neuron kit, which is looks really interesting, and I think Mariano and Geronimo are probably going to show their Arduino HipChat experimental project. Yeah, so that would be cool too. Yeah, and we'll try to get out by about 8 p.m. Be kind to our hosts and leave at the appropriate time. Okay, so thanks, and see you at the next meetup. And I'll hand over to Ben from CoderDojo. Thanks.
Sorry, bear with me a second, guys. I'll just set up my presentation. All right, cool. Hi, everyone. Quick shout out. Teachers, industry, policymakers. What have we got? Okay, teachers, industry, IT industry, policymakers, educators. Okay, everybody put their hands up. We are all educators. Because the way it works is we're actually always trying to encourage other people to discover, to learn. And that's what we're all about. And hence I came to CoderDojo. So the purpose of CoderDojo, I'll just splash it up there. What we're really about is being able to give coding to kids for free. Forever. Say that again. We do it for free. Forever. It comes out of would you believe, an Australian gentleman, Bill Liao, got together with an Irishman. This is not a lie. This is for real. In Ireland. And they said, this coding club thing, it's actually really cool. So this is 2011. And they said, let's actually copy-paste this and see what we can do and bring it around the world. And they have. It comes out of the idea that in feudal Japan, it was required that you knew how to wield a sword in order to survive. So they taught it for free for hundreds and hundreds of years so that their society could survive. Guess what? We're in an age where people are going to need to know how to code, even if it's just one layer down. So this is our purpose. We want to be able to give it away for free. When we look at what's happening just in New South Wales alone, statistics are kind of interesting. When you read it up there, I'll just go through it if you care to, some of the things that strike me as a tad scary but also a rather interesting opportunity is where the jobs are going to shift to. What is technology going to give us access to? What are the jobs going to look like in the future? We have absolutely no idea. But what do you need? You need the capacity to be able to give instructions to a computer. So in the US, we know that by 2030 or 2040, 600,000 jobs in law gone. Why? Because somebody figured out how to automate articles in law. In Australia, I think it was PwC that predict that by 2020, 264, I don't know how they get 264,000 jobs in accounting are going to disappear. That's kind of interesting. So that's the scary side of it. But what's the wonderful side of it? What are the kind of things that are actually going to be created by those that have the capacity to be able to program in DNA, to be able to code the way or the printers that will actually produce chemical compounds that might be a better glue or actually be able to break down and be less destructive than plastics, for example. So let's talk about CoderDojo specifically. What's so special about CoderDojo? Like I said, free, forever. Did you get that message? Okay. So the other part about it is that it's community-led. Mentors come to us from all walks of life, from teaching, as parents, people from industry, or people that are just generally interested. Like I have a number of librarians that come along. I have other people that say, Hulk, I fly remote control airplanes, but, I'm really into this coding gig. And I'm cool. I work with kids as well. So what do I need to be able to do? Don't have to be somebody that knows how to code. You just have to be somebody that's passionate about being able to learn and being able to give that learning to other people. We're non-structured. We don't have a curriculum. We don't say this is what you need to learn today. We don't necessarily give kids a series of checkboxes they have to get through that curriculum. Why? Curiosity. Curiosity is the thing. No, it doesn't kill the cat. It actually leads us to greater understanding. Hence, we have the non-structured, project-led learning. And we learn from one another. We get the kids to ask the others. And it's a common phrase that we actually use in Dojo. Got a problem? Don't know how to solve it? Ask 3, then ask me. So ask 3 of your peers first, then ask me as a mentor what might be a solution. And I don't tell answers. I never tell answers. I ask a lot of questions. Like, so you want to make your robot go forwards, backwards, or miss the wall. So what happens if you use a sensor? What could you do with that? What does it do? And so they answer the question. They go, they twig. They go, connect, right? So that's really about them being able to discover the right questions so they can reach the solution that they're looking for. Yes, we're a global movement. I think WA currently leads the charge with the number of dojos, the density of dojos in Perth at the moment, and they're spooling up for DojoCon, so pretty much a kid-led conference around coding as well. And we are out of school. We're not in the classroom. The reason why is because we want the kids to see this as a peer-led learning space that is different. If people want to pair up or group up or ask questions in a different way or bring a particular subject matter into this space that we call Dojo, they're very welcome to, led purely by their own curiosity. When I talk about what happens at Dojo, there are 2 rules, really. One rule, really pretty much for everyone, and one rule that I pass on to mentors. And anybody else that cares to lead. And that's keep it cool. So interestingly, it stems out of kids that just get crazy. They get noisy within the classroom or within this environment. But it's like, keep it cool. Don't interrupt your buddies. Don't get too loud. Don't get too rowdy. Okay, that's the starting point. But we've extended it, actually. Interestingly, at Balmain, we said, keep it cool. What's the morality of the thing that you're actually doing? I don't say that, but I say, okay, you've made a game. Great. You can put your buddies' faces on it. Awesome. You can run around and you can splatter each other with snowballs. That's cool. It looks like a lot of fun. Is it going to be cool if that thing that you've built, somebody's going to put your teacher's face on it and somebody can run around splatting your teacher? Is that cool? Maybe not so cool. So let's think about it. What's the thing that you're actually building? How is it going to be used for good? And how could it be used to do something bad as well? Very, very important. So this leads to this conversations that we have about trolling, about safety online. We talk about it with parents as well as with the kids. So keep it cool. It's quite a broad kind of a thing. But again, it's about how you treat one another within the space. And for the mentors, it's about... Mentors call me. I had a call the other day. Say, yeah, I'm really keen to jump in as a mentor. What's involved? And I said, look, I have one rule. You will ignite and you will feed the curiosity of the kids, of the ninjas. Why? Because the curiosity is the thing that actually makes them seek a little bit further. Scott Hanselman has this line. He says, 1 layer down. If I understand 1 layer down, I get to a better modelling of the universe and the world. His wife lost her wedding ring down the sink. And, she's going, oh, my God, it's in the ocean now with Nemo. Oh, what am I going to do? Hang on. It's not that bad. There's an S-bend, because I know there's an S-bend, Scott Hansen. Chances are it's just trapped in the S-bend. Okay, so, oh no, my robot's destroyed. No, you probably just stripped a gear on the motor of the robot. It's okay, that's something we can fix. So understanding one layer down, be it an online chat system, be it a robot, be it a kitchen sink, allows us to understand what's going on and we can take control. And that's what we're trying to give to the kids. I'm going to take an opportunity to show you something. Kind of things that happen at CoderDojo. I am hoping this will work. Whoops. Okay, cool. Let me tell you a quick story. This is Heather. She's okay with me showing this video, and so is her mum. I have no idea whether this audio will work, but I'll give it a crack. Heather made a game. This is just a scratch. Let's have a look. Please, audio. Okay. Oh, where's my audio? Technical. Did that come up? No.
No, but it should be HDMI.
It's HDMI should be coming through. All right, I just got to talk it through.
Oh.
This is Scratch. Heather made a game. Okay, she made this completely herself. She was not guided by anybody else, but she said, I want to build a game because I really love vintage clothes. I want people to be able to make their own ensemble of vintage clothes upon this character that she created. And I asked her, Heather, why did you make this? I said, oh, because it's fun. And what else? Well, I love vintage clothes, and I figure that somebody else might like to be able to play this game because they like vintage clothes too. I said, Heather, that's really cool. So tell me, did you design this whole thing yourself? And she said, yeah. And what about the clothes? Yeah, I designed those myself. I chose the colours and the way that it'll actually work, as well as the user interface. Heather's what? I think she's what, 9? 9. Okay. I'll tell you another story about Heather. Between Heather and her mum, Emma, who have been coming along to CoderDojo for a little while, I taught them also, or rather led them to the idea of being able to create a game in Scratch where one character is chasing another character. Now, programmers will know this problem significantly when it comes to games. How do you actually tell when something touches the other? What's a contact or a collision? And it's not always really simple because you see it's touching for a very long time. So if you keep counting, you go, oh, it touched. Oh, why did it count 20? I don't understand. Simple problem. But what it comes down to is, very simply, much the same way with robots, is it's doing something and I'm sampling, and then it goes to, like, I don't hear a thing, and now I hear a thing. Okay, but I'm sampling. So every time it's high, you count a number. Well, that's wrong. What you want is this edge detection. All right. Put it simply, Heather figured out that, I don't count. I only count when I go from there to there. I don't count anywhere else. That's just one. That's it. And I said, you know what? Actually, you know those things, ultrasound? They work on the same principle. That's called signal processing. And you should have seen the eyes on both Heather and her mum Emma light up. It was amazing. And this is why we do this. Okay. Great. Oh, and I've got a couple of minutes. Right. CoderDojo New South Wales. We incorporated last year because I had this crazy idea and my colleagues supported the idea. Well, I just had the idea and they just ran with it. And by their wonderful work, we incorporated as a not-for-profit within New South Wales. Our whole plan is to be able to grow CoderDojo and just give everybody else the opportunity to be able to have these wonderful experiences too. We are hoping, okay, this is the next slide. Okay, our ambition, where we want to get to, 200 dojos by 2020. That's a big deal for us, but we're on our way. And hopefully, with the help of people like yourselves, we'll be able to get the message out there as well. Not just for us, but we're partnered with many other organisations as well. Okay? So Code Club, Code Rangers, you name it, they're everywhere. We're out there, we're doing the same thing, essentially. Okay. So what are we looking for? We're looking for venues to run dojo sessions. We're looking for champions. That might be teachers, parents, industry people. If you're passionate about this idea, bring it. Bring it. We'll support you. We'll back you. We'll help you. And if we can't, we'll find a partner who can. And of course, the mentors. It takes very little to become a mentor, but as teachers, as leaders, we understand what it is, that the thing that makes us so passionate about this stuff is when we actually give this away and we see that spark and how powerful it is. Right, so robotics in education. They're extremely exciting. I'm sure you guys know all of this stuff, right? I was lucky enough to grab a robot and play with it with the kids, and they go crazy. The moment you actually say, hey, do you want to work with a robot? Do you reckon you can actually make a robot do a dance when you clap your hands? They go, oh, yeah, I think so, and they get into it. But the challenge is the thing that really gets them in. When I actually offer them just the challenge, not to tell them how to do it, but say, do you think you can actually make this work? They go, yeah, this is fantastic. And I school the parents as well. So I say to them, parents, don't give them an answer. Not at all. Give them the opportunity to have a go. And I want you to, when you get the opportunity, when they know something that's a little bit more than you, go to them. Go to your child. Go to this young person and say to them, you know what? I don't know how this works. Do you reckon you can show me? The light in their eyes is amazing. When they realize that they actually know something, when they have value, what they possess is of high value, they're so ready to share. And that produces this amazing community, and it's really wonderful. All right, my favorite, MBOT. Have you guys seen these? Yeah? Familiar? Hands up. Played with them? Love them? Hate them? All right. Pretty straightforward, right? You've used the Scratch port interface. Pretty cool. Has anybody cracked open to have a look at the code that's underneath? All right, show that to the kids. They'll go crazy. Because when they realize that what they're doing really is coding for the next piece, then they'll go nuts. Ross, Mr. Secretary. So Ross is actually the Secretary of CoderDojo New South Wales. And
he's present.
In name. I'm just a crazy guy with the ideas. But Ross is going to show you a little bit more about what is under the hood and how that necessarily works. So as much as some of you already know about the M block, if you look at the blocks, you can actually flip to the code view. When you look at the code view, this is what you're going to get.
We had an opportunity at the start of the year to purchase some Arduino Robotics kits. That was developed by Michelle Jensen, who is president of the New South Wales School Library Association. So it's a very reasonably simple-looking kit, but there's a lot involved with it, and she's put a lot of work into these kits to allow them to incorporate into the ICT school curriculum that's currently being developed in New South Wales. And the idea behind these is not just to do the mechanics behind the robot, but also the coding as well. So she's developed these with some colleagues from Nepal, and they work via a mobile device, typically Android, because it is quite free, cheap, and easy to code in Android. All we have here is the Arduino piece with a Bluetooth connection going through a motor driver. And in this particular robot, we've got 4 motors underneath, going to 4 wheels, and the batteries, of course. So once you plug it in, everything starts lighting up. And if it works for me as it did last night when I got it working, it will hopefully be moving around. So as I said, it connects. A lot of robots you see connect via Wi-Fi. In most places, that's going to be fine to do that, but not everywhere. So these kits were designed that all you needed was the robot kit and your mobile. So they have developed a small, very simple app that you can Bluetooth connect to the device. I've already paired these up, so I now have a connection. So hopefully it starts going forward for me. Turning around. It's very simple to operate. The whole idea is that this app is just sending a 3-digit code to the Arduino that interprets that code and then sends a signal through the driver to different motors. So the complexity here is that the app is very simple. You just download that, install it on there. The complexity here is that the code that you launch and install on the Arduino. You're not supposed to change that. I did when I first got it because I'm a coder. That's what I do. I change the code if something's not working. But the idea is that you change and fiddle with the connections on the actual robot so that you get used to the different wires. It looks all very complex and everything like this, but I will tell you now, I didn't build this robot. One of Ben's students did last term. I got the robots back off Ben yesterday, and I just had to put a few connections back in that came loose in the box, and I plugged it in, and it pretty much worked straight away. So one of Ben's kids actually built this, not ourselves. So it is very achievable for any kids to do that. Now the whole idea with the kits is that you actually get enough equipment for 3 robots. So this is the second robot that you build. The first robot is the top one there. It's a 2-wheel with a revolving wheel at the front, and it comes in I've bagged it up so it comes in a kit like this with everything that the kids need. All they need is actually a screwdriver, which is provided with the kit as well. So we give that to them. We give them some basic instructions with where the wires need to connect up and the code, and we encourage them to work together as teams. This is about teamwork. This isn't about an individual going in and doing it themselves. We get them to groups of either 2, 3, or 4 people per robot, and you encourage them to teamwork and problem solve. Because when you first download the code and set everything up, it's never ever going to work first time, no matter how experienced you are. So it's all about fine-tuning, problem solving. That's what we're encouraging with the kids with these robots. We don't expect it to work the first time, because if it worked the first time, it'll be too easy. If we want something to work in easy, and this is what Ben is saying, is that you got the emboss there. It's very easy to assemble. It's a scratch-like environment, so it's going to work very quick and easy. But when the kids want something a bit more, they want to go beyond the scratch-like environment. This is a great introduction and great start for them to do that. And the fantastic thing with these kits is then you can buy some very cheap online, some small sensors to put around them so that they can then sense the environment. So you don't actually need, all you need is the coder and the Arduino doing is saying once the battery's in, go forward, and they check things around them. That's another example. And what I've discovered as well is I was playing around with App Inventor last term, and I realized that you can very easily create an Android app that connects to Bluetooth. So I did a quick model in an hour and a half and created something that could send my own app to the Bluetooth device to control the robot. So you could actually then create, again, extending on this, when they've done this, is you get them to create an app to control the robot themselves quite easily with App Inventor. Or any other language if you're comfortable in creating apps. So it's a very simple model, but there's a lot of expansion that you can do with it as well, and that's what the journey we're starting with now in CoderDojo from last term. Anything else?
So the interesting thing about this is that the kids take on the challenges really well. When you offer them anything that says, can you make it move? Can you make it do a dance? Can you make it avoid walls? Could you program a drone that will follow me? or lead in front of me to be able to take photographs, or orbit around me as I run along my mountain ridge. They go, yeah, I think I can do that. And we actually give them the opportunity to actually try and code it. And it's wonderful. They really do dive into it. Right. That's pretty much it. Is there any questions that you guys might have of us?
I don't know. So do you get funding from someone, or how do you provide? Oh. I just wanted to know, who funds you, and how do you purchase these products and things like that, just as an organisation?
So we don't have funding. We are applying for grants as a not-for-profit. We're strategizing around how we actually get ourselves into the community. A lot of the way the dojos work, it's purely out of passion. Like I'm a volunteer. I got into it as a volunteer. So did Ross. So did many of the others that are involved. Mentors, they pop up because they know that they have something which could be very valuable, and we've shown them they can deliver incredible value to the people that attend CoderDojo.
So you supply the kit. In terms of these kits, I was made redundant in January, and I used a small bit of that money to buy.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's great.
So I had an opportunity to buy them at a very big discount, and I took that opportunity when I had the money.
One of the opportunities that we're trying to take advantage of is to get funding to be able to build up whole bags of kits like this and take it out west. Yeah.
What sort of code do you write to get that thing moving, that robot?
It's standard Arduino code between C++.
C++. C#, C++. It's all C++. So standard Arduino code. Yep.
There's absolutely nothing special about it. I've got pieces of paper in one of the tutorials, just in the box in the back there, and I can show you the code.
Microphone?
Really simple.
Yeah, sorry, just the code is really simple. Like, it's not, the emphasis here isn't on the code. It's on just a simple code that takes a 3-digit number, and then depending on that number, it's saying to go forward, go back, go left, or go right. It's very simple, but it doesn't mean you can't add to that code and make it complex, because there are ways out there that you can control the motors. Like at the moment, they're set up to go 100%. But if you created your own app, you could have a button in there or a dial to go 100, 80, 60, 40%, and then when you press a button, it only goes a little bit slower or a little bit faster, depending on the level that you've set it. So as I said, this is a basic model, and it's then open to the creativity of the kids as to where they want to go with from there.
I think it's microbits that have this block code, and they have a sort of, on the screen also a translator into Python. When the kids are actually coding, are they coding in block and then they're learning how to do code in Python, or what type of level of coding are they doing?
Code is pure Arduino.
So for these guys, this one, they're using the M-block port of Scratch. And for this one, they're using the Arduino IDE directly. But the same, if you crack it open in the back of this one, in the configuration of this one, you'll suddenly see the C++ code. You're working directly with C++ code in the Arduino IDE here. They're the same.
What age?
7.
How young?
It's CoderDojo is 7 to 17. I have 7 and 8-year-olds doing this. Yep. And so 7 and 8-year-olds doing this one as well, literally. Yeah. So yeah, they don't fare terribly well after a little while, but they discover really cool things like, oh, that motor's burnt out, or that particular thing isn't working. How do I debug this? So they discover that problem-solving thing. And it's not just the code, right? It's the electronics as well. Any other cool questions? Okay, I've got a question for you guys. Who knows what the uptake is for girls, women, with STEM subjects because they've managed to drive a robot. I'm going to leave that with you for homework. Because the percentile is particularly high. And it's a proper study, okay? It's not mucking around. The percentile of female students that will take up STEM subjects just because they got to program a robot is particularly high. So I'll find out if you come back with an answer next time.
When will you tell us?
Well, I'll give you the answer, and you guys can come back. All right?
I just had another question. So, so having seen, the positive effects of using robotics in CoderDojo, are you changing your thoughts or strategies on how much you use robots in CoderDojo maybe in the future? Is it something you would want to at least give all the kids access to at some point in the CoderDojo journey?
One of the things that happens with CoderDojo, okay, first of all, yes, every session, pretty much, okay, because we want to make it available all the time. And because it's project-led, if somebody says, I'm doing robots, it means we're doing robots. But the other aspect is that I don't want to limit anybody's imagination, and I'm a bit cheeky. I tend to encourage people to choose the project that they want to do. And I've shown them the code. I've shown them the ability to be able to actually write a flight controller in Arduino, okay, for a drone, to create a taskable drone, because it's entirely possible. So, you think in robots, you want to go further. Okay, how about those really, really funky drones that manage to swarm? You could teach your kids how to do that, right? It's not much further. It's a very, very small leap. Okay, believe you me. So yeah, every session. Anything else? Other questions? Cool.
Okay, so thanks, Ben and Ross. That was totally inspiring, and these guys are definitely keeping it cool. So thank you so much. Okay, I think we'll pass on to Clinton from Obelisk Systems. So this is a presentation I've really been looking forward to for quite a while. So Clinton,
okay. This may be.
We need some.
I need some kind of.
Mariana, can you trust me?
Sorry.
What are we doing? You present on your machine, or?
If I can, or I can just send you this link if you have an email address.
Yes. So do you have any HTML?
No.
Oh, okay, send it to me.
But
Send it to me.
Else I won't have it.
We'll just take a 2-minute break. So yeah, we might just take a 2-minute break. I forgot to say before, the toilets are out in the hallway on the left. So I think the ladies and then the men's second door. So we'll just take soft drinks in the fridges on the side as well.
And the wrong side.